Welcome to another session of Maths Fanatics. In lesson 3, we're still discussing nature of the roots and completing of the square. Please make sure you have watched lesson 1 and 2 before watching this lesson. Thank you. They are all in the same playlist. If you go up at the playlist, you'll see lesson 1 and then go in that order. Okay. Thank you very much. So here they want us to solve for x by completing the square and stating the nature of the roots. Okay, so we are given 4x squared plus 11x plus 7 equals to 0. Okay, remember the first rule, we need 1x squared here, right? We need 1x squared, but because we don't have 1, we have 4, it means we must divide everything by that number that is there. So we need to always have positive 1x squared. So 0 I'm not going to divide because the outcome will still be 0. So here I'm going to have x squared plus 11 over 4x plus 7 over 4 equals to 0. Now the first condition is met. I have 1 there, 1x squared, which is fine. And then, okay, so the third step is to rewrite everything the way it is. 11 over 4x. Just leave some space here. Leave some space here. And then we're just going to write 7 over 4 here equals to 0. So I just rewrote this part, but I left space here because we are going to add something. Okay, perfect. So the second rule after we made sure that this is 1 here is you take your b, right? So our b is 11 over 4. You need to divide your b by 2 and then square. Then repeat that. So 11 over 4 divided by 2, then you square. Remember, I said you always start with a plus, then a minus. Never do vice versa, né? Plus, then a minus. Perfect. Now, we have to simplify this. So we have x squared plus 11 over 4x. And then let's check what does this gives us on a calculator. Okay. So we're going to have bracket 11 over 4, which is our b. Then remember, you always divide b by 2, then you close your square. So that gives us 121 over 64. So you're going to say plus 121 over 64, then minus 121 over 64 plus 7 over 4 equals to 0. Okay, perfect. And then from there, we need, remember, you pair the first 3 together, and the last 2 are going to go together, right? So and then here, remember I said you open a bracket, then you put a square here, right? Square root of x squared, it's x. And I said we take this sign. In this case, the sign is what? It's positive. And then you square root the last one. If you put this under square root, I'm seeing we're still going to have a fraction. Square root of 121, it's what? It's 11. Square root of 64, it's 8. Okay, so that's what we're going to have there. Then let's see what does this gives us on a calculator. No? Let's see. So we have negative, we have negative 121 over 64 plus 7 over 4, which is negative, it's negative 9 over 64. So, but it's negative when it's this side. I want it to go to this side of the equation. So it's going to be positive 9 over 64. So it's going to be positive 9 over 64. Remember, it was negative when it was still here, but I moved it this side, so it's negative. Ne? And ladies and gents, the other thing that I want to emphasize is never, ever, ever use decimal numbers when you're completing the square. Always use fractions. Okay, never use decimal, never SD, never convert anything, right? Because completing the square, we're actually solving for x without using the calculator. Perfect. And then now I'm going to introduce a square root, both sides. 11 over 8 squared, and then there's a square root there. Okay. Then this side I have 9 over 64. I have to introduce a square root as well here. Then plus minus. Don't forget to put a plus minus on the side of the number when you introduce a square root. That is the most important rule that many learners usually forget to do when they complete the square or when they solve any equation. Always include plus minus, okay? Unless if you're solving for distance, because distance is obviously always going to be positive. So if you know that you're solving for distance, you can just leave the plus minus. Perfect. And then we're going to have, okay, the bracket is gone now. So we have x plus 11 over 8 is equals to plus minus. If you input this on a square root and then put a calculator, when I have 3 over 8. Okay. Now we're going to split this. So I have x plus 11 over 8, which is this part, is equals to positive 3 over 8, or x plus 11 over 8 equals to negative 3 over 8. So on this step, this part is still the same. You see both sides. You are just splitting the positive and the negative here. So this is the positive one. That is the negative one. Okay. And then now let's see what answers do we get. So I'm going to have 3 over 8. I'm moving the 11 over 8 this side to become negative. Then I'm having negative 8 over 8, which is negative 1 here. So if you punch this on a calculator, it should give you negative 1. Then let's see this side. 3 over 8 minus 11 over 8. Let's see what will this one give us. So if you punch this in your calculator, it must give you negative 7 over 4. Right. Then that's finito. So now we have completed the square. Now we need to state the nature of the roots. Therefore, I can see that I got the solutions here. So my roots are real because I got answers. And I can see that these are rational numbers. So I'm going to say real rational, unequal roots. They are not the same number, so unequal roots. Right. Perfect. Then that's it about this question. But I just want to show you how you could have done the nature of roots. Remember, it's delta equals to b squared minus 4ac. I'm just showing you another way you could have done it. So your b is what? It's 11 squared minus 4. And then your a is 4. Your c it's 7. Let's quickly punch that on a calculator. So it's 11 squared minus 4 times 4 times 7, which is equals to 9. Remember, if you get a positive number, it means real. If it's a perfect square, of which it is in this case, because 9 is 3 by 3, so it's going to be rational. And then if it's the number here is not 0, it's unequal roots. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to share with family and friends. See you soon. Thank you.